Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans. Hump Day. Day before Thanksgiving. Thank you all so much for joining me. Happy holidays to everybody in the viewing audience. This commentary is pertaining to the family friend that details the hours before Leilani Simon was arrested. Just some more BS clout chasing on behalf of Billie Joe. Well, Billie Joe, you want credit now for turning in your daughter? Well, let's think about this for just a second. What are the odds that you decide to turn in your daughter because you think she's getting ready to leave a facility, a drug facility, and they just so happen to find the remains of Quentin Simon? What are the odds of that? God, give me a break. Man, you don't stop, lady. You just don't stop. All right, everybody. WTOC 11 is the source. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Max Deeknight. Leilani Simon will spend her second straight night in jail tonight after being charged with murdering her 20-month-old son, Quentin. Simon reported her son missing more than 6 weeks ago. Police arrested her yesterday after finding human remains in a Chatham County landfill. Right now, the FBI is conducting DNA tests to confirm that those remains are Quentin's. Tonight, many are awaiting for Leilani to make her first court appearance on tomorrow. We're also hearing more from people close to Quentin. Tonight, our team coverage continues with our Shay Schrader and Camille Syed. We'll start with Shay. And Shay, you talked to Leilani's mother, Quentin's grandma, Billie Joe, today. What did she have to say?
Max, the first call I made when Leilani was arrested was to Billie Joe, who had custody of Quentin when he disappeared. She was clearly distraught. When she was on the phone, she was crying, and it seemed like she had been crying for some time, likely because her grandson has passed away and her daughter has been arrested. She wasn't able to get into any details with me today, but she did pass the phone off to a family friend who's been by her side since the day that Quentin disappeared. And this family friend was able to shed some light on what happened in the hours before Leilani was arrested. Billie Howell's friend tells me that a few weeks ago, Leilani Simon had checked herself into a treatment center and had been there ever since. But on Monday morning, Billie found out that she was planning on leaving.
Her mother had to make one of the hardest decisions of her life and call the FBI agents and let them know that she was signing herself out and she could not come back here and that she was going to be a flight risk because she could not come back here because she was going to be back on the streets doing God knows what with God knows who.
Billie's friend said that at the request of the FBI, Billie picked Leilani up from the treatment center and spent the last few free hours Leilani had with her.
They asked her to buy some time. So she went and picked up Leilani's belongings from another center, and then she took Leilani to have her last free meal.
After that, the son and family friend says Billie took Leilani to the Savannah FBI office where Leilani was later arrested and charged with Quentin's murder. There's been a strong reaction to the arrest, including from Diana McCarta, who says she babysat Quentin for 10 months before he went missing. She says she keeps thinking back to that morning when she received a text that she wouldn't need to babysit that day.
You wonder what he had to endure from the time that he left my house till the morning when I got the text. You know, I can't even imagine. I don't want to think about it because it drives me crazy.
Folks from everywhere, all across the country, have been calling for justice for Quentin and feel that maybe we're one step closer to that.
I just don't know how any mother could hurt their child. I don't know what could be going through their head for them to hurt their child. I am happy that justice is going to be served because Quentin needs that.
Won't justice serve for this precious baby? No matter what it is or who it is. We all, at the end of the day, all the protesters and the family all wanted the same thing. We wanted justice for this precious baby.
Billie's friend tells me that Billie has been in contact with the FBI on a daily basis since Quentin first went missing, giving them any information that she can come up with that she thinks might help the case. Billie also shared with me today that she is in the process of making funeral arrangements for Quentin, as the police believe that they have located his remains. Those remains right now are at Quantico in Virginia, pending DNA analysis to confirm that it is indeed Quinton. Meanwhile, Leilani Simon is about to spend her second night in jail after being arrested and charged with murder in connection to Quinton's disappearance and death. WTOC's Camille Syed joins us now outside of the Chatham County Detention Center where Leilani is being held. Camille, what comes next for Leilani?
All right. That was the end of that WTOC 11. If you need a source, I don't even know where to begin with this faux news commentary. No disrespect to WTOC. It was the people they were speaking to that's full of shit. What are the odds that you want to, Billie Joe, notify the FBI of your daughter leaving a rehab facility allegedly, and they just found remains of the child? I want you all to think about that for just a second. What are the odds? Because rumors are that they found the child on, or remains, let's say Friday. So you've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday is the announcement. And just so happened, you're using this woman, your so-called friend. I'm surprised you didn't use your other friend from Canada as a mouthpiece, because I find it very interesting and just laughable that this chick's been by your side since the beginning of this case, but yet you're on a horse's channel gnawing it up every chance you get, but can't speak to this reporter. Why not? Why can't you speak to this reporter about your baby being in the landfill? Using a mouthpiece to the news, your own local news. You can't even speak to your own local news reporter, but you can stay on YouTube crying and moaning and blubbering like a fucking wet seal, flapping around like a wet seal / blubber whale. Give me a break already. Last meal. How would you know that there's going to be a last meal if you didn't know she was going to be arrested? Bingo card. See, I always tell you all to listen to the information that's being repeated. Think first. Think first. Why am I notifying the FBI? What do I give a fuck? She wants to run around and get high. What are the odds that she never stopped getting high since she killed the baby? How about that? And all of a sudden, we're just so concerned about her going on the run. But you hear in this article I'm about to read, Chief Hadley wasn't concerned about her going anywhere. So is it true that she was in a treatment facility? BJ, you are so pathetic that you need 5 minutes of fame, even when the child has been claimed to be in the landfill, recovered out of the landfill. You still want to claim this story as if it is about you. It's not about you, Cookie. It's about Baby Q and how he was left behind with trifling ass people who want to ride the ride. And you don't even hear Leilani talking at all through this debacle of mess and mayhem and vile behavior. It's just the grandmother wants to be, yes, the hero, Captain Save-A-Ho. Oh, I called the FBI to let them know she's checking out of this facility. And I don't know what she might be doing out here. God knows what. She's been doing God knows what. That's why her baby's dead. Ting. Did you miss that part, Billie Joe? While you're sitting up here with a microphone pretending to be fucking Diana Ross on this $2 stage you've invented called YouTube. You are a spectacle. You need money for what? A funeral? Well, I thought you did that weeks ago, honey, before we knew the boy was dead. Didn't you go online soliciting people for money for a funeral before Chief Hadley told us he was dead? So you should have some money for a funeral. And what do you need a funeral for, sweetheart? You don't need a casket. You don't need a casket. What's the point in spending money for a casket for remains? And it's not to be disrespectful to the dead, but common sense. What do you need a casket for? You mean you need an urn? You need a $100 urn? Well, I think we could come up with $100 to give you for an urn. Because that's all you're going to do with the remains is cremate them. Don't fuck with the queen. You on some bullshit, lady. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Let me finish reading this article so I can finish my commentary. Leilani Simon will spend her second night in jail Tuesday after being arrested, charged with the murder of her 20-month-old son, Quentin Simon. She reported Quentin missing October 5th. The Chatham County Police Department arrested Leilani, after they found what they believe are Quentin's remains in a landfill. Let me repeat that again for Billie Joe's delusional story to the news. The Chatham County Police Department arrested Leilani after they found what they believe are Quentin's remains in a landfill. I don't hear any mention of FBI Secret Service conversations. Oh, she's gonna check herself out. I just want to let you guys know. So, I'm going to go get her. We're going to go eat lunch, and then I'm going to turn her over to you guys. Well, why would you need to turn her over if there was no mentioning of an arrest? Is it because you all got wind that they found something in the landfill Friday, and she got scared, if we're to believe this cocked up version you're spinning? Oh, Billie Joe, I must admit, you should quit your day job. Bitch, you need to be an actress. You need to be a full-blown actress. Go find you an agent, because you are good at making up stuff. You put on at a drop of a hat, just like your daughter did in that interview where you were staring off in space, listening to her spin a lie to the world about her baby boy. Let me continue. WTOC called Leilani's mother, Billie Howell, on Tuesday to talk about everything that has happened in the case since we last spoke. She was distraught on the phone. She was crying and had clearly been crying for a while before being called. She said that she wasn't able to go into detail, but she did hand the phone off to a family friend that Billie says has been by her side since the day Quentin was reported missing. Well, where was Cher at? And I don't really mean to mention her name because she's irrelevant at this point. She'll have to find her a new story to climb on top of and hump and dry hump. I said that. The family friend said a few weeks ago, Leilani had actually checked herself into a treatment center and had been there ever since. The friend also said that Billie had been in communication with the FBI on a daily basis since Quentin was reported missing, and that Leilani had been as well. However, she says Billie caught wind that Leilani was going to check herself out of the treatment center and had to make a decision. Oh my God. Chew my paw off already. Her mother had to make one of the hardest decisions of her life and call the FBI agents and let them know that she was signing herself out and that she could not come back here and that she was going to be a flight risk because she could not come back here because she was going to be back on the streets doing God knows what with God knows who, the family friend said. What the fuck is this bullshit? I'm down. Billie's friend said that at the request of the FBI, oh, I hope you're not lying. That'd be a shame they charge you with lying, Missy. Billie picked Leilani up from the treatment center and spent the last few free hours Leilani had with her. Did you hear that? Last free hours. Well, I'm confused. I thought you was worried about her safety, but yet you don't want her to come back to your house. So where would she be going when you picked her up? Let me think about that for a second. Her last free hours. When I think of free, I think of free. Meaning, I'm getting ready to go somewhere where I won't have access to a door, lock, and a key. Ting! But yet, I was concerned that she was going to check herself out of a rehab facility. And I decided to go pick her up, and the FBI told me to spend a little time. What the fuck is this, Mayberry? Oh, so now the FBI is giving us phone calls to let us know they're going to come pick us up. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Yes? Oh, you're going to come pick me up and take me to jail? Okay, hold on a second. Let me get my house shoes and my rollers. And do you mind if I go to the buffet and get me some Chinese food or some Mickey D's before you haul my ass to jail? Okay. They asked her to buy some time. So she went and picked up Leilani's belongings from another center. And where might that be? Hell? I love it. And then she took Leilani to have her last free meal, the family friend said. Let me tell you something, family friend. You must have a lot of crack cocaine fentanyl up your fucking ass to sit here and be a fucking mouthpiece for this fucking Billie Goat ×2 who had custody of the kids, and now you're the mouthpiece. What the fuck does she need you for? Where's her friend in Canada? She's been doing all the talking on YouTube. You should have called your friend. You stay on a fucking live every fucking day with her. What do you need this bitch for? To be a mouthpiece? Hell yeah, I'm crunk this morning. Bullshit. She's been by my side the whole time. Well, if you've been her friend the whole time, you fucking makeshift Chucky doll, then what the fuck she's been doing on YouTube? Is somebody feeling lonely in Canada that they weren't allowed to speak to the news? Oh my goodness, I'm missing 2 toes right now. She then took Leilani to the Savannah FBI office where just a few hours later, she was arrested and charged with Quentin's murder. Oh my goodness. How in the world did that happen? Wait a minute. First it was we're taking her out of the center because we think she's going to run. Then, hours later, she's arrested and charged with Quentin's murder. Oh my goodness. How does that happen? Previously, the Chatham County Police Department had said they did not think Leilani was a flight risk. Chief Jeff Hadley was asked Monday if that changed leading up to her arrest, and he simply responded, no, quotation marks. There's been a strong reaction to the arrest, including from Diana McCarter, who says she babysat Quentin for 10 months before he went missing. She says she keeps thinking back to that morning when she received a text that she wouldn't need to babysit that day. You wonder what he had to endure from the time he left my house to the morning when I got the text. I can't even imagine. I don't want to think about it because it drives me crazy, McCarter said. Folks from everywhere all across the country have been calling for justice for Quentin and feel that maybe we're one step closer to that. I just don't know how a mother could hurt their child. I just don't know what could be going through their head to them to hurt their child. I am happy that justice is going to be served because Quentin needs that, McCarter said. We want justice served for this precious baby, no matter what it is, no matter who it is. At the end of the day, all the protesters and the family all wanted the same thing. We wanted justice for this precious baby, the family friend said, WTOC. Well, let me talk to you because you're a fucking bobblehead too. You don't even know what the hell you're spinning to the news. The person who's responsible besides Leilani is your friend. Do you have blinders on? And the fact that you're letting these witches use you as a mouthpiece is even more disgusting. Exactly, Brittany Parnell. If she was going to run, she would have walked on out of there and kept moving. Ting! And she would have done it a long time ago because Leilani doesn't want any help. Ting! So when did she actually go into this treatment center? Because I'm starting to lose count of all the versions and the stories and in the house, out the house, back in the house, signs put up, potato, what are we talking about? I think it's very sad that even when the child is being alleged to have been recovered, Billie Joe, you just could not wait to use another person to spin a web to the news as if you're the Holy Grail. You have come to save the day. Well, bitch, let me tell you something. You should have fucking used that same energy with those kids while you were canoodling off in Illinois or wherever the fuck you were being a welder. You should have took that same energy and focused on your fucking grandkids. How about that? All the time you spend on YouTube using people to talk to the news, that's the same energy you should have used in taking care of those kids while you all up in the courthouse filing documents after documents after documents, and poof, voila, 1 week later, a baby's dead. And now for the last hoorah. I called the FBI. I told him she's checking herself out. I don't know where she's going to be. Well, I know where she is now. How about that? She's in the JAIL, where the fuck you need to be. How about that? That's where you need to be. You and your husband and whoever else has knowledge that that boy died. You are despicable. Just when we think you can't stoop any lower. Oh, you're going to plan on some funeral arrangements. Now, this is amusing. And where are you going to hold the funeral services? Where are you going to hold a funeral service? I'll wait. At the funeral parlor, funeral home, because they do have little small rooms where they let people gather and hold funeral services. So you're getting ready to pay the funeral home and buy a tiny casket to put the remains inside. Delusional is putting it mildly. This $2 story you just fed to the local news is despicable, but it's typical of a grand narcissist that spun two murderers from her womb. The very reason they are murderers, because they're cut from the cloth that you gave them. And even in the last minute of the storyline, you could not wait to gloat. You could not wait to gloat that you saved the day by taking your daughter into the FBI, which makes no sense whatsoever. There's no way I'm going to sit here and believe the FBI told you or Leilani they were coming to arrest her. I do not believe Chatham County Police or Sheriff's Department notified either of you they were coming, because a reporter asked that question during the press conference as far as notification of you turning her in. And he told the reporter, no. There will be no turning anybody in. So that means you're lying. Either you're lying or the chief's lying. Take your pick. Because it surely was asked near the end of the press conference about you turning in Leilani. And I refuse to believe the FBI is getting ready to go call people up to tell them, hey, by the way, make sure you put your lipstick on because we're on our way to come pick you up for murdering your child. And no way in the world they believe your ass and trust you either. But I don't know. Stranger things have happened. What a mess. Thank you all so much for joining me. Finally get some type of resolution to this case. And here you go. You just could not resist, Billie Joe. You got to be the center of attention. That's the reason why your kids are fucked up. Because you've never cared for anybody. You like attention. You're an attention whore. I said that earlier in my live. You're an attention whore. You are so attention starved. It's sickening. And it's a wonder your kids are fucked up. I'm starting to wonder what the fuck's wrong with your other kids. Because are we going to hear stories about that other daughter you got? Them other sons? Because you're tainted. Your womb is tainted. Your womb is tainted because you're tainted. And out of your womb came two tainted birds who are now incarcerated for murdering people and a child. So I would be very fearful of what is mentally wrong with your other children. Yeah, I'm going to say that. Because you are definitely ill. Anybody that's thriving off the death of a kid and just talking, but talking to the wrong people. You want me to believe you talk to the FBI? You couldn't even talk to the reporter. Why would I think you talk to the FBI? Why would I think you were talking to the FBI every day? Leilani was talking to the FBI every day. We can't believe nothing you say because all you do is spin stories. That's all you've done since this case started. Your daughter had enough sense to keep her mouth closed. And you've just been spinning these webs on behalf of Leilani or yourself. And then you keep flip-flopping. 1 minute you're in her corner. Next minute now you've sold her out. Oh, she can't come back here. I guess she can't come back there. You'd have heard that they found remains of the child on Friday. That's a small town. People talk. You heard it down there before we heard it. Just tell the truth for once in your life. You all heard that they found the baby. And she knew they was going to be coming to arrest her. End of story. Fuck all this Chinese buffet, last meal bullshit. Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. And nobody's going to believe you anyway because you lie so much. You've lied this entire case. You've lied for a month and a half pertaining to the death of Quentin Simon. Your husband goes on a national or on a local news station and says all the girl does is lie. Well, look where she gets it from. Her mother is a pathological liar. So why would we expect the daughter to be any better? The daughter's a liar. 9 times out of 10, that son that murdered that guy, he's a liar. Billie Joe is a liar. She spawned 2 liars. There's nothing that Billie Joe could do or say to make herself look good or be redeemed. It's a wrap. So you can continue to go on YouTube and talk. You can build your YouTube channel. Your focus should be falling into a very deep hole. That should be your focus. Finding a deep, deep hole and falling inside. Just drop down in it. Cover yourself up and be done with it. Because you have no regard for children. You have no regard for self. And the fact that you have used this child's death to stay on YouTube, going on and on, jumping in people's chats, talking nonsense. Nobody cares because guess what? Queen blessed up here. I don't have your fucking problems. And I thank God I don't have them. And I wouldn't want your problems or Leilani's problems. And I go to bed every night grateful and thankful I don't have your damn problems because I wouldn't put myself in the situation of being involved in that street ratchet ass drama. And that's what I keep trying to tell people about these stories. The reason the children are missing, the reason the children are abused is because of the ratchet people that brought them here. And this cycle will continue until people realize they need to keep their fucking legs closed and stop procreating. She's not getting anything back. Who's going to give you kids back? You don't have no job. Ting. You've been home for a month and a half. Coming up almost 2 months. So what children are you getting back? And nobody cares about you painting walls and shit. Probably painting up blood stains. I don't know. I don't trust you either. You know you're not getting those children back. You're just walking around doing stuff for show to get on people's channels to make people feel sorry for you, make you think something's going on with you at that fucking house. There's nothing going on. That's a death house. That's a death house. There's nothing going on there. 535 bulk halter is a wrap, lady. Thank you, honey. There's nothing going on at that house. The fact that you continue to stay in that house and pay bills at that house and sleep in that house tells us everything we need to know about you. You're sick because no decent human could sleep in a house knowing that grandchild was murdered in the same house where they lie down and go to sleep and pay bills. I wouldn't want to stay there. And I wouldn't even want to buy the house, frankly. Now, some other sicko wacko would buy the house, but I would be very scared to buy a house knowing a child was murdered there. I wouldn't want to live in a house where anybody was murdered. You know, people die every day, but murder is totally different. You sleep there every night. First thing out of your mouth when they drain the pool, you're worried about a pool guy. Who worries about a pool and a kid is missing? And not just missing, he was dead. Anybody know where I can get a pool guy? What did I tell everybody? Yeah, at the pool hall. Where the hell you like hanging? Go hang out at one of them fucking biker clubs. You should have no problem finding a pool guy at one of them biker clubs down there. Aren't you a motorcycle rider? Well, my. I know there's got to be somebody down there that can refurbish your pool. But don't mind, I've got a dead baby to be concerned about. I want my pool fixed. A pool that you don't even swim in. A house you didn't even stay in. But that shows us your priorities. You never cared for the children. And you're worried about a fucking pool. Then you're running all up here on YouTube like this is, Hollywood or something. This ain't shit up here. You just sitting up here entertaining a bunch of bored motherfuckers that ain't got nothing better to do. You're sick, man. And there are a lot of people who have messed up their lives, getting in trouble, and they are doing way better than what you're doing. Way better. I know people who have had jacked up lives, and they are doing way better than what you're doing. All you've talked about for a month and a half is yourself. Me, I. Woe is me. My life, my trouble, my problems. Nothing about that baby. Nothing about the other two. Just you. What happened to you? How you got in trouble? How you sold drugs? How you was in the jail? This and that. Just stupid stuff that a decent human wouldn't even be talking about with a whole baby missing. And I got a feeling you knew he was dead possibly before you touched down to Georgia. Who's to say you didn't know? How do I know? You ain't orchestrated the death of him, because the way you're acting is very suspect right now. And it gives me bad vibes. That you could have orchestrated the death with your daughter. Because I believe you're money hungry, you're greedy. And all those little toys you all got hanging around on that property that all of a sudden now you want to sell gives me the notion that this may be deeper than Leilani killing her kid because she thought she was going to get evicted. And I said that in the past 2 lives. There's something off with this story. And it may be deeper than just some crackhead mama scared she's going to be living on the street. How do we know you didn't orchestrate the death of Quentin Simon with Leilani Simon? How do we know this isn't for insurance money? Do you have insurance on Quentin Simon and the other children and the other adults in the house? Because you're awfully comfortable for somebody with a dead kid. You're too comfortable. You've been the mouthpiece of this story. Leilani has only gone to the news once, but you have been the orchestrator of this story, and that rubs me the wrong way. And that leads me to believe you're either just desperately ill, or there's something else sinister going on here. You don't need any money from the general public to bury Quentin Simon. You and your husband have lucrative income. So you all should have a nice savings account that can pay for a small gathering for this baby. And frankly, you don't deserve the right to receive his remains. Frankly, I don't think any of you deserve the right to have his remains, quite frankly, because you all were not there for him. So you don't deserve to make arrangements for a kid that you didn't care for. And you have used this child's death to your advantage for Cash App donations and Amazon wish list, which shows me that you are ill and that possibly there's something going on with you and your daughter and these kids that is nefarious in nature. You do need to be arrested. Child endangerment, gross negligence, it's all the same. You had custody, you and the husband. He needs to also go down because we really haven't given your husband fair play, because at first we didn't know his involvement as far as his name being on the custody papers, but in certain articles, his name has been mentioned as a custodial parent of the two boys. So therefore, Mr. Howe, you're just as vile and dirty as Billie Joe Howe. And you've been lying back in the wind, but you know you are foul. And the best thing you can do is save yourself and cut Billie Joe loose, because she's dead weight. She and her daughter and her children, they're dead weight. They're a casualty of war. I would cut them loose. And I would try to salvage some type of life as an older person. Because what would be sad, your whole life would be put on display, your finances, any type of illegal activity, house gets seized, assets get seized, all because you were fucking around with a $2 whore. I said that. You picked up some strange blonde-haired bitch off the street who didn't give a fuck about herself or her kids, and now you're wrapped up in a murder investigation and possibly investigated by God knows how many agencies plus the IRS, all because a piece of ass. An old piece of ass at that. But see, this is what happens when you chase in behind people for sexual purposes. I said that. You're chasing in behind this woman because you like the kitty cat. She's a tall drink of water, blonde hair. She ain't been looking too blonde lately. Full gray. See, that's the devil. She full gray. From the time that baby was reported missing to the time she stormed up in McCarter's house, up to the interview with her daughter, she was full gray. What was that, 2 weeks? Imagine that. So all this time you spending talking about Amazon wish lists and receiving jewelry from some crazy psychotic person, you should have been at the Walmart getting you some hair color. Hey, put me a couple bottles of peroxide on that damn wish list. My roots are gray. You're disgusting, man. I don't know who's worse, tell you the truth. I don't know who's worse. See, Leilani had enough sense to be quiet. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much. See, Leilani had enough sense to be quiet. She didn't say much. She did a little damage control by going to the news because she didn't have any choice, especially when Queen was bringing up all that 411 to the everyday shenanigans. Poof, voila, she wants to talk to the news. But after that, you decided, I'm going to steer the wheel for a while. I need this attention. Okay, Brittany. I need this attention. I've got to show the world who I am. Lord, Robin, you guys please stop. I've got to let these people know I'm a damaged person. I've redeemed myself. I've been to the bottom I've climbed my way up out of the gutter, and now I make 6 figures, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you make 6 figures, you shouldn't have to be selling anything. You don't need donations. You don't need an Amazon wish list. Go to your bank account and pay for the damn funeral. Better yet, sell your house and move far, far away. And please stay away from children. And I pray that none of your other children have children, because you'll be the last motherfucker I want to watch my baby. I would leave a cat with you. I would leave a cat, a goldfish, not even a bird. I would not leave anything with you. And I feel sorry for these other children you have, because perhaps one day they will procreate and have children. And what type of grandmother are you going to be to those children if you're not incarcerated? And I pray the system will show you favor by locking you up, because you deserve to be incarcerated, because you had no business signing those papers. And I still don't know why Leilani signed those custody papers with you. I'm very stunned. And that's why I know that something is amiss with you too, and possibly your husband. There's some hanky-panky that was going on, and this may be a bigger scheme than we anticipated pertaining to the death of Quentin Simon. Well, cremation is the cheapest way to bury a person, dispose of a body, if you understand what I'm saying, funeral-wise. So she doesn't need any money for a funeral. The remains will be incinerated, put in an urn. That's the end of the conversation. You don't need a lot of money for that. Either you'll keep the urn with the ashes in them, or you'll take them somewhere and dispose of them in a lake or a river or a quarry. And since you're so vile, I won't doubt that you would take them and throw them in the landfill. That's where you threw the baby. You can just march your ass right back out there to that landfill and throw away his ashes, because you didn't have any respect for him when he was living. And you knew he was dead in that landfill all along, Billie Joe Howe. You knew that. Thank you, 7777. Well, Gigi, you don't know people. That's why they're in their business. You don't know people. Because you have to admit, her come up has been kind of sweet for 2 years or so. Now, possibly some of those items were bought by Mr. Howe. He had them before he met Billie Joe. But nonetheless, what they've done is wrong, foul, by signing those papers, knowing they had no intention of raising the children. That's why I know that something is not right. Because something is still off with this story. And the fact that the search has been called off this week to give them a break, allegedly, but the investigation is still ongoing, and the search will resume after the holidays. So therefore, Chief Hadley is adamant about bringing justice to Quentin Simon. And the fact that the Georgia Resource Agency came in and found him showed you the intent was to find the child out of the landfill. And he was found, because he's a child of God, and God didn't want his baby out there, because that's not a place for a child or a human being. You don't throw people in the dumpster. You don't kill people because life is not handing you the hand that you feel you deserve, Because as the old folks say, you made your bed, now lie in it. You got to get up and do what you got to do to survive. And these people are hustlers. And they don't know how to deal with emotions. So their way out is killing people. And a lot of people think like they think. I don't like you, I'll just beat you to death. I don't like you, I'll stab you. I don't like you, I'll shoot you. That's their mentality. And sadly, they have people still rallying in their corner as if they are half-assed civilized human beings. And they're not. And this friend, what kind of friend can you be to her? Because she surely cannot be a friend to you. Billie Joe could never be a friend to you because she can't even be a mother to her children and a grandmother to her grandchildren. So how could she be a friend to you, ma'am? You must be very lonely and desperate for friendship. Because there's no way I'm going to canoodle with anybody that signed papers to take in children into their custody and they stayed out of town working. You would have nothing to say to me. And I would tell you to your face that what you did was foul. And I would not want to be around you. And you would not be around me or my company or my children or my grandchildren or anybody. I wouldn't want to have anything to do with you. So this lets you know that all these people are evenly yoked in madness and mayhem, because that's the whole point of likeness attract. You have to say at some point, you know, these people don't mean me any good. I don't like how they're living. I don't like the things they're doing. And sometimes we do. We try to give people chances, but there comes a point where we have to say, hey, I'm not meshing with these people, this person. We all need a reality check sometimes. And this lady, you need help. Because this shows me that you're lonely. For you to be taking up with Billie Joe Howe, you're very lonely. And she's doing nothing but using you as a mouthpiece, which you should have figured that out day one when she went running to the YouTuber. She can't talk to a local news reporter. She can't talk to Vinnie Politan. She can't talk to anybody of substance about the death of this baby, but she can talk to a YouTuber who ain't got a pot to piss in, hiding behind a fucking microphone. Now ask yourself, does that make any sense? Local news asking to speak to Billie Joe Howe, and she uses her friend, but yet she can talk to a Canadian YouTuber who don't got shit going for herself and can't help her do a damn thing because she can't help her damn self. She couldn't even come to America to be supportive to her own new friend. See, these people all are using each other. Haven't you all seen what happens with these type of people? They're users. The people they attract are users. They're all evenly yoked in foolishness. So they're all using one another. And it's only going to be a matter of time. You're going to start to hear little bits and pieces of what really was going on inside of that house. And it's going to be either one of those kids or one of those friends. It's going to be either Mr. Howe. Somebody's going to turn on somebody and they're going to drop the dime on everything that was going on. And you're going to get a little bit of fabrication. You're going to get a little bit of truth. But you're going to get something. You're going to get something. Because somebody is going to open Pandora's box. And you're going to start hearing some stuff that's not so nice about all of these people. And now that Leilani is in jail, won't be coming out, I got a funny feeling somebody's going to start talking and start telling some stuff. And you're going to find out what's really going on out here. Thank you, sweetheart. You're going to start hearing a lot of little nasty stuff about Billie Joe, her husband, her children, Leilani, all the baby daddies. Somebody's going to start talking. And it's going to probably be about 60% truth to some of the stuff you're going to hear. Because that's when the truth starts coming out, is when there's an arrest. People feel safe to talk. And I got that feeling we will get something on these people. She doesn't have any real friends. We will see. Which daughter is that, Robin? Why you say that, Brittany? BJ daughter. How old is that daughter? Answer the phone, Brittany. $22. How's she 22 and the other daughter's 22? Oh, Leilani. Brittany, answer your phone. Yeah, there was another daughter there. She's just talking. Hello? Yeah.
Hello?
Can you talk?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you talk?
Yeah, you're good. Does she have more than one daughter?
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't know that. I thought Leilani was the only daughter.
No,
and
that was another girl up there.
Huh.
So what do you think about this information here? I never seen anything like that. Golly.
And hold on, let me turn this off so that good.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, they're trash. They're full of shit. Billie Joe's full of shit. The people taking up for her is absolutely ridiculous. The money, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. You know, when you think about you hung signs and you all the money, that's crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah. The lady has been worried about everything else other than her grandson the whole time. She knew from day one the girl killed the boy. She said it, her first interview, in my opinion, said all I needed to know. So yeah, I have a little bit of empathy for her. If you know,
why is that? Why do you have a little empathy for her?
I said I would if she would have took her way before now.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't believe that version that I just read by the news.
Oh, I think that's a joke.
What are the odds that you would take her in? Why would you take her in? First, it's supposed to be I'm calling to let you know she's leaving. So you went from calling to let them know she's leaving, the rehab, to taking her to eat, then taking her to the FBI office. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you be taking her to the FBI office unless you knew that something was going on, as such as an arrest?
Right. So I watched her on a live last night. Billie Joe came on live, and she said that she got up yesterday morning, and she said that she was in
a location that she was not aware of, that she has not been aware of. It's the exact location the whole time that she's been in this facility, but there was a drop-off location. So she was taking her two winter outfits or something like that and some packs of cigarettes and dropped them off. And then something about after she dropped them off, she got a call saying that she had signed herself out, Leilani had signed herself out, and that she needed to come get her. It's interesting because she acts like at one point she doesn't know where this location is, and then all of a sudden she's going to get her. And she says she then contacted the FBI to let them know that she could not come back to her house and that she was afraid that, she would be considered a flight risk, and they had her stall, pretty much what you were reading earlier. She took him to eat. I think that's bullshit, because at that point she still hadn't been charged. You know what I mean?
Once again, what are the odds that you will take her? She's talking in circles because she's lying.
Yeah, she's talking. I believe that if any of the story is true and there was really 2 trips to some facility, I believe that the very first trip that BJ made to drop off the items, she let her know then Quentin has been found. And then possibly that she did leave, and then old girl signs herself out.
Well, the reporter asked him point blank during the press conference about her turning herself in, and he let that be known that no, that would not be an option. It's in the press conference.
Yeah, and they say they picked her up too.
Well, that's my point. If he's telling a reporter that was not an option, then that means nobody turned her in and she didn't turn herself in.
Well, and that was another thing. On the live last night, that's what Billie Joe was so upset about. She's like, they have done nothing. I've asked them to please give me peace. They were not clear in the interview saying that I turned her in. I did exactly what I said I would do on the previous news interview, that I would take her there myself. They're not giving me any credit. It's all about her and how she looks.
Yeah.
Whether any of it's even
Well, that
true.
lets you know how sick Billie Joe is. That's why her children are sick, because they came from a narcissist. Billie Joe is a grand narcissist. She's a hustler. She's a street person. She will always have the street in her, and this is what she's doing. She's doing what street people do. She's double juggling. She's a hustler.
Oh yeah, I'll give her that. She definitely is. And Leilani's just a product of her environment. And unfortunately, she did. She exactly how she said the other night. She raised 2 murderers. She did, and that's sick. That it's I don't even know. And will they release the remains to her?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Hold on 1 second.
I get.
Go ahead, say what you got to say. Go ahead, finish. Don't let this lady speak. Go ahead.
I don't feel like they would be released to Bubba, since technically she wasn't in his custody either.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot.
Kendra, where you calling from?
North Carolina.
Okay.
Hey, I wanted to come on and say I agree with everything you're saying, but first of all, I hope that Leilani rolls on Billie Joe in jail and tells everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, because she's nothing but a crook. She played like she wanted to let everybody think that that she was there, and she didn't want her daughter to make the mistakes that she made. Mm-hmm. And she wanted to give her a chance to be a mother, but at the same time evicting her out of her home.
Mm-hmm. You don't find something strange that all these documents were filed in the month of September. The 26th, Leilani received the papers to be evicted. On the 28th, they switched custody of the children. You don't find something very strange? You're putting me out, but 2 days later, I signed my rights over to my children to you. Don't you find that strange?
Yeah, I do.
And I tell people there's something sinister with that.
Right.
Because it makes sense. You're putting me out. You ask me for child support, and then 2 days later, after I get the paperwork from the 26th to the 28th, I'm signing my rights over to you with my children.
Right. It's like that there was a pressure there that was put on Leilani that I think that potentially made her, that might have pressured her into killing this kid. Billie Joe is just as responsible for
Oh,
that.
we know that. Yeah, she is responsible.
Yeah.
But I still feel like there's something missing in the story. There's something off.
Oh, yeah, we'll find out about it. But I do want to make this note too, because this has really made me sick. All we have heard is Billie Joe, Billie Joe, Billie Joe. What about Bubba? What about the father of this child?
Yes.
He lost 3 family members within a matter of weeks.
Yes.
And everybody is screaming over poor Billie Joe, poor Billie Joe, my ass.
Well, do you not ever question why he didn't make an effort to try to see his child?
Well, how do we know that they, wouldn't allow him there?
Well, he had to find the house. Remember, it was said that he went to talk to the FBI. He did go by the house after talking to the FBI. It's in that article.
And that conversation he recorded with him and Billie Joe,
Yeah.
they seemed to get along pretty well.
So he knew where she stayed. So I have a problem with that.
Well, they're such a dysfunctional, crazy family. He may have just, didn't want to be around them,
Yeah, but that's your kid, though.
And
Yeah,
he didn't have to be, and he didn't have to be.
Yeah, you don't have to be with somebody just because you have a kid with them.
Right. But I'm just,
8 months. My network, I don't sugarcoat nothing. I just got a problem with that because 8 months, that's a long time not to even know if your child is breathing. Just think about that for a minute. Just imagine had he been dead 8 months ago. This boy wouldn't have even known. What if she had never called and told anybody her kid was missing? What if she went off the grid? Her and that Danny boy packed up somewhere and went somewhere. Nobody would know nothing.
but at the same time, we don't know if she was keeping him from him, because we have heard the stories about Billie Joe and him being together.
I beg your pardon?
I have heard the stories about Billie Joe and Bubba.
Yeah, you heard it. Queen ain't heard that. I ain't heard that.
Yeah.
I have not heard that. Do you believe that, ma'am?
At this point, I put anything on the table.
Okay.
At this point with this family.
Okay, so let's say he had sex with Billie Joe. What does it have to do with the baby?
Well, they were saying that that's why I was hearing that Leilani killed him because she had hate for Quentin because her mother was having sex with Bubba. I can't believe you didn't hear that.
Well, sweetie, that's one thing I try not to do is get into that gossip stuff because I've learned with cases like this, people will say anything for 5 minutes of fame, as you see with Billie Joe Howe. Right. So I don't listen at rumors because I know that people will make up stuff when they know they have an audience.
Right. Right. That's true. But that's why I said, I don't throw anything off the table. Okay. With this family because
somebody said, I'm pretty sure it was BJ husband who wanted them out. That's a good point, Nazi. I didn't think about that.
And I have noticed that Billie Joe is very materialistic. She was online the other day talking to Cher, and her friend Beth was there, and she was talking about how she was redecorating a room. And I was thinking, redecorating a room? And they're just finding the remains of your grandson. What state of mind is she in?
The same state of mind that wanted a pool refurbished.
Very materialistic. Very. And I think that's why she moved that memorial off that front lawn around behind that fence, because it was bothering her being on that front lawn. She didn't like it being out there. I think she was, didn't like the fact that it was going to turn her grass yellow. I pick up on a lot of stuff like that.
Put dead fish on her lawn as well.
But she can do that, Brittany. That's her house. That's her property. If she want to put dead fish and boo-boo, she can. Only people complain is neighbors if they start smelling it and it's bothering them. You understand what I'm saying? But that's her lawn. If she want to put shit and boo-boo over there, she can.
I guess. With everything that was going on at the time that she did something like that, that is so strange to me that she would go to those, there's so many other things for her to worry about at that time. You know, putting dead fish and cow manure or whatever it was on the lawn for the I don't know. That's just crazy.
Well, look at who you're talking about and then ask yourself the question again.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Because
it shows you something is mentally wrong with Billie Joe Howe. She's not.
Trash the
that's what I'm saying. She's not mentally stable. Because Billie Joe has been like this possibly her entire life. That's why her children are tainted. Something wrong with Billie Joe. So now, as I said in this live, you have to question what's wrong with her other damn kids.
Right.
Because it will be sickening if we look up and hear some other crazy stuff about them other kids.
And I would assume a one is going to have to be a witness. The one that was in the home.
Who you talking about, Pop?
Yeah.
If you talk.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Danny's going to be the star player.
Let me ask this lady here, Miss Kendra. Do you believe Danny knows about what happened to Quentin Simon?
Absolutely. Yes. He's in that house. He knows everything that went. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What reasons do you think she killed the child, ma'am?
I do believe that Billie Joe was with Bubba, and I think that she.
Oh my God, you are really writing this.
I do. I've listened in on a lot of that story.
But think about what you're saying. 2 years later, that would be the reason. Considering she's being evicted, I think that would be more of a reason to Annie up on my mother, not Bubba. Bubba's been out the picture. She's got a baby by a whole other guy.
I think another reson she killed him, she was under a lot of pressure by Billie Joe to get out of her house. And the child support, I think she was mad about the child support being put on her.
I believe the child support, and the being evicted, and I think she wanted to one her up.
Right, and they said that Billie Joe loved Quentin so much.
Really?
And that the love that I think that she may have showed him more love than the other boy. And she hated that.
So you think her mother showed more attention to that child?
Right.
But she didn't care for that child. I don't know. I didn't get a sense of that to some degree when I seen him behind that baby gate. Something about that bothered me. Zane was out blowing bubbles. But he was the one behind the bars. And I thought, they're only a year apart. Why? Strange to me. Very strange.
Yeah. But thank you for having me on.
All right, Miss Kendra. Thank you. Have happy holidays to you.
And to the other lady as well. You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to this mess. Yes, she is garbage. Sherry's garbage. And I don't want to mention her name on this channel anymore. I will talk about her.
What's your opinion on Danny Queen?
I'm sick of all these people. Oh, who?
Danny, the boyfriend.
I think he knows something. He left too quick for my taste. Now, naturally, it could be he don't know nothing and got scared and he left out of fear he'd be implicated. Don't want to be dealing with this psycho bitch, but he was in it too long with her not to have any suspicions that she was going off the rocker. You understand what I'm saying? Because she's had to been bitching to him about the documents and the paperwork and, oh, I can't believe BJ's doing this to us. We don't got nowhere to go, blah, blah, blah. Just like some rumor was out that she was trying to find somewhere to live. With what? If you had money to leave, you would have been there left.
Right. I think a lot about what the babysitter said that very first interview about how he had that look in his eyes or whatever when she wanted to search the house and he said no and he just had this dead cold look or something. I can't remember exactly the word she used, but it really, now thinking back, makes me feel like he was putting it all together in his head at the time. Whether he immediately told the police when they showed up to see, to find out he was missing, that, hey, I think she just did this while I was going to work. I feel like he was in a state of shock because, I'm not worried with anything. It doesn't sound like he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, if he was there.
But they don't tell you everything. They don't tell everything. Because I just refuse. Just this one person knew about this. That I can't see that. I'm not saying it can't be. I don't know. I don't know them, but I just can't see him not knowing something. Because she's had to been bitching and moaning for at least a week. Where we gonna go? Where we gonna stay? I can't believe my mama did this to me. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing. If she was putting them out of the house, and I don't know how long she was supposed to be gone on this trip. They say she had been gone for 3 weeks before. Listen, where were these kids going?
See, that's what I said. That's why I said to the person who just got off this panel. Nothing makes any sense. All this almost makes me think this shit is orchestrated because something is wrong here. 1 minute I'm supposed to believe you want these people out of your house, but then you're getting custody 2 days after she receives the paperwork to be evicted. Why would she sign paperwork over to you and you're evicting her? So you really believe your mother was going to take these children on the highway with her and stay in a camper? Why would I believe that when you're not even here to take care of the kids? Anyway, you're away.
Right. And, how I don't know what she's thinking, even, getting custody of these kids, knowing that you were gone weeks and weeks at a time. I don't know. It's very strange. It makes you feel like once you put it all together,
premeditated.
Like it could be orchestrated for sure.
That's why I said it's something off. It's like my mind, it's like it's something there and I can't put my finger on it, but it's something. Because it doesn't make sense. Because I read that on the 26th, the papers arrived to her to be out of the house. On the 28th, we learned now, weeks later, about the custody. We finally just learned about that last week. Okay, that was a gap. All those weeks, we didn't know that. When she got custody of the kids. She just got custody. Why would I give you custody and you're putting me out of your house? Why would I be stupid enough to think you're going to take care of my kids? When you don't even live here in your house.
Right, and you feel that you need to take 2 kids, why not the other? And then if she's unfit, why are you leaving them there? None of it makes sense. It doesn't.
I don't know.
At all.
It's very strange.
I question if the infant child, they say that it was born with cocaine in her system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even understand how.
Right.
Leilani
and that didn't make any sense. How are you going to now tell us, oh, yeah, we found this and this with CPS being involved, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but then how did she get the children? That's why I always kept questioning, when did Billie Joe get custody? Now we're finding out Billie Joe got custody right a week before the child goes dead. There's something off with all of these. This whole case is jacked up. You gave a woman a child that had cocaine in the system of the mother. And I asked yourself, did that make any sense? So that made me think that maybe Billie Joe had custody of the children like a long, long time ago. Not a week before the child went dead. Oh my God, these people are sick. And the state dropped the ball all day long. And then let's go here. This is something I wanted to make a video about this. Why did she go to Alabama with that and have Quentin? Why did she go out of town to give birth to him?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense. Honey, ain't nobody studying that woman.
It was Quentin.
Huh?
We know for sure it was Quentin that was born in Alabama.
That's what was said. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I definitely remember there was one. I can't just remember which one. And that, now playing it all back, that seems really sketchy to me. Because it makes me wonder if Diana, the babysitter, didn't show up that day.
I don't know, Robin.
Planning on calling The police.
That's what I'm starting to wonder.
So,
but you have to pay the court to draw up paperwork. You can't just go into court and file paperwork for free. That's how the court makes money. So that's what I'm confused about too. Was this all just a hoax for some other reason? But you still got to spend money, even if this is a hoax. See, it's something off still. I don't understand none of these people. I don't understand nothing about these people.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. Because, you know, it really makes no sense for Billie Joe to go say that she needs custody of these two children because the mom's unfit or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But what about this little girl? The baby?
What about her?
I just don't understand why she was still in Leilani's custody.
Gigi, every state should be the same about drug addicted babies. They're not gonna let you take no baby home and the baby got drugs. Because if you got drugs in your system, the baby's gonna have drugs. You're carrying the baby. Whatever you eat and drink, that's what the baby's living off of. Woo, Tanya, please, that's hell. You think the baby got put in the dumpster alive. That's why Danny saw Quentin alive at 6 a.m. Well, my understanding that the baby was dead between 11 and 2 a.m., 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., and that kind of fits into the time of the door being open between 2 and 5 at the house. I believe that. I believe the baby was killed between 11 and 2. And then they opened that door to make it look like somebody came in and took the child, got up after 5, shut the door, went back to sleep, or just laid down. 5:29, called the babysitter. Then 9 o'clock, called the babysitter. It's all orchestrated. It's all orchestrated.
I really believe that Danny, I don't think Danny physically seen him. If he's truly not involved.
No, I don't believe he saw the kid.
I believe, because think about it, at that time in the morning, you're not trying to make a lot of noise. You're not going to want to wake up the children. I really believe that he just assumed the child was there. I honestly don't.
Well, let's go here. We don't even know where the children sleep. Have you thought about all, listen. All the gossiping that's been going on with Billie Joe. Leilani is the one who should be telling the story. She's never told you where her children sleep.
No.
Did she tell you that she had a bassinet for the infant? A playpen for the 2 boys? The 3-year-old will be kind of big for a playpen. That's why I said, nobody's ever told you where the children slept. Either in the room, in the same bed, on the floor, what? You don't know.
Oh, no, supposedly Billie Joe, I believe she did say that the playpen was in the same room with Leilani and Danny.
Okay, but where the other 2 children slept?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know if more than one slept in the playpen.
Because she wouldn't put an infant in the playpen.
I would think not.
All right. April said the stepbrother said they all slept in the same room. Yeah.
I feel like it was said, because if you look at the layout of their house, there's like a bottom floor that's a big living room that connects to a kitchen. And it was said that was like their living area. Mm-hmm. Like it was almost like a big living room, not necessarily a bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. That's just what I remember hearing. But yeah, I don't know where the baby would be sleeping because, she's young. She would still be in a crib. And, that's the interesting thing now, BJ's saying she's, decorating these rooms and making these rooms so that, she can get these kids back. They should have had all these things previously. How would all that not been checked out before she was able to even get custody?
Well, that's why I told you there's something off with this entire situation.
Really,
everything's off with the drug addiction in the child. One article says that the drugs were in her system after the baby was born. Then you all come back saying, oh, it's when she had the baby. Well, which is it? There's too many stories.
Yeah, it's too much. It makes no sense.
And then you find out Billie Joe got custody 1 week before the child got killed. That's just too ironic.
That's crazy. 1 week before the
1
week before the child got killed, but she had
week.
been gone for 3 weeks.
Okay, so that's why I'm trying to tell you. What would make Leilani turn over her children when she knew her mother stayed out of town? I refuse to believe my mother's going to take these children and live out of state. because somebody would have to keep the kids.
You know, and that's when BJ wants to put it back on the babysitter. The babysitter was supposed to keep them overnight. I don't believe that.
You don't believe what, honey?
I don't believe that the plan was for the babysitter to keep them overnight, like BJ wants to claim. Maybe that was the case. I don't know. She also says that, you know.
What does that have to do with somebody killing their kid? It don't matter. Donna McCarter has nothing to do with this woman killing her kid.
But the amount of blame they put on her is outrageous.
Well, I've got to blame somebody because I know I just signed custody for the children bingo card. I know I let this girl keep these kids when she didn't need them. I knew I really didn't want these kids. That's why I keep telling you there's something off with this whole story pertaining to all three children. There is something sinister that is going on. It's way deeper, I think, than just she killed the kid. Because all this cocaine shit don't add up.
And where did they get the DNA to compare to Bubba?
I can't remember, but that was already settled weeks ago. Early on.
I cannot remember.
All that was settled early on. Because I think that was settled way before the child got missing, I think. That's the only way it would have been settled.
No, Bubba did not find out he was the father until after.
Well, listen.
Until he went to FBI.
Well, they found a way. I can't remember how, Brittany, but they did.
I wonder if there was a paternity test given to Danny as well.
Well, what's your point you're trying to make?
I just wonder, maybe is it possible that, I question, I want to think he's really innocent in all this. There's no charges for him, but how do you leave your kid? So I don't.
Well, very easily. Very easily, he did.
Yeah, he did. But if you are truly innocent in all of this, I guess they had already taken the children by the time he left. So his daughter. Really
that's why That's why his mother and daddy wasn't getting the kids, because they went to court right after all this, and you never heard of his parents had the kids. Because the judge knew better. I'm not giving the kids to nobody because the judge has already talked to the police. He's already talked to DHS. He's already talked to the state's attorney. Ain't nobody giving nobody no kids, and a whole fucking baby is missing and deemed dead.
No, and they wanted to claim on a channel I was watching earlier or yesterday when BJ was talking that I don't know how to put this nicely, that the baby was somewhat still whole. I don't believe that.
Say what?
That almost it wasn't. They made it sound like there wasn't pieces. I don't know how to say this properly, but it wasn't small amounts of the child found. That surprisingly,
well, he could have been flattened out. He could have been flattened out and not broke up. We're not going to know until they decide to tell that.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if they would have given that information to them either right now. And with the way it's being displayed, it's all very disgusting. Have you seen the picture of the little box with the flag over top of it and the FBI pictures in the background?
No.
Yeah, they got it posted all over YouTube. It's disgusting.
Well, what is it?
I guess it's his remains. It shows a text message from, I guess, BJ, and it says, I don't know, my sweet baby or my baby Quentin or something to that effect, claiming that he's in this box with this American flag over it with the FBI headquarters stuff in the background.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's a big mess. It's sick. It's sad. I don't know what I think should happen to Billie Joe. I really don't. They say they'll.
What you mean you don't know?
I don't think she should. I think that she was responsible for sure. But I wonder, with them saying there's going to be no other charges, if that is just pertaining to the murder charges, that technically the custody stuff, there could be separate charges for Billie Joe separately, is what I'm really hoping is the situation. Because she was responsible. Either way you want to look at it, she was responsible. Yeah. So I don't understand how she could get away with that.
Well, hey, that's up to the DHS and the state's attorney's office. What they want to do about it. But my understanding, weeks ago, listen, my understanding is that they were talking about it 2 or so weeks ago, what to do with her as far as charges. They specifically meant to talk about her.
If maybe DHS, didn't follow up like they should have, so they possibly didn't know that Leilani is in the house and things like that. So I feel like it's possible she'll end up getting slide on some things, so they didn't do everything. I don't know. It's a sad situation all the way around. That's 3 kids' lives that are completely gone. It's sad. And the last thing those kids need to be, I truly do not believe they will get the kids back.
Well, I always tell people to listen. I always tell people to pay attention to what is being told to you and what you see visually. If you haven't seen the children in a month and a half, what would make you think she would get the children back?
I can't imagine.
Because they would have never got taken in the first place. Ding dong.
No.
I'm not going to give you kids back and I find out your name is on paper 1 week before the child was dead. Why would I let you have the children? And then I found out you also do not work in Savannah or the surrounding area. So now I know that you, 1, don't live here, don't work here. 2, you just signed papers to get custody of children that you knew you lived somewhere else and worked somewhere else. Why would I give you custody of 2 other children? I would not.
I mean, the kid was technically in her custody when all this went down. No, I cannot see it happening. I can't. But that's the sick thing, to hear this lady speak. She is so delusional that she truly believes this. She's over here making Christmas ornaments and shit for the police department, a Christmas tree that she's going to get. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Who's making Christmas ornaments?
Billie Joe is making Christmas ornaments and stuff, and a Christmas tree that she wants to take, I guess, to the police department.
Don't you find all of this barbaric, considering you're the one that had custody of the kids, and where the fuck is your job at? See, this is why you know something is amiss. You got all this free time of a month and a half to sit around and do absolutely nothing. Where is your job, Billie Joe Howe?
Right, because here's the thing. If she truly worked for who she said she worked for, was the union and all that for the pipe fitters.
Yes, delusionally high. Yes, thank you.
Yes, and there's FMLA, there's...
Well, she's not low income. She has 6 figures, remember?
Right, but with your job, you get short-term, not disability, but you can take a leave for a family.
Well, I'm sure she can, but what I'm saying is you're not focusing on the child. Your focus right now is YouTube and, arguing with protesters, using your friends to talk to the news. Everything is about Billie Joe. There is nothing she's done is in pertaining to the child. Nothing.
Right, but I'm just wondering what exactly happened with her job. Like, I feel like there are, measures in place at an appointment that, she wouldn't have lost her job to be out, not to be at work for over a month and a half. So what happened? You know what I mean? Like, something happened.
And the fact that you're asking for money tells me it's more to the story.
Yeah, and it has to be.
But she's a hustler. But the flip side is she's a hustler. She knows how to get money. Yes, Tanya. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. She's a hustler. So even if she's still getting paid to work or less fee, blah, 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 unemployment, however it works, she's a hustler by nature. So she knows how to double juggle. What we call it in the street.
Double bubble, that's what she said.
Well, I don't call it double bubble. I said double juggle. Maybe that's what they call it in Savannah, double bubble. I don't know. But that's a street term I got from my father. She knows how to hustle.
Yep, I sure can. Now that I think about it, I can see that she is on a leave from work, and she's got all these people on YouTube thinking,
Oh, Cam, please.
Over this and still doing all these cash apps.
Cam, be nice, be nice. Yeah, she's union, so she's still getting her money.
Yeah. She's playing all these people.
That's the bottom line.
Yep.
She's a hustler. Listen, when you start working in places such as titty bars, clubs, you know how to hustle people and hustle people out their money. It's just the way the game goes. When you decide to start getting high, you're going to learn how to hustle. That's just the way the game goes. You sell drugs, you're hustling. So she knows how to hustle, bottom line.
Oh, yeah.
So she learned all this shit. Listen, she learned all this before Quentin got dead. So that was not going to change because of a dead kid. It's only now I can use this death as a means to an end. And that's what she's doing.
Yep. Yeah.
She's hustling. She's hustling a dead kid.
I haven't really thought about it enough to think that, she is still getting paid. There's no way she's not. And, for her to sit up on that panel and say she was getting $65 an hour, I mean, you should be able to pay for this funeral.
You're not even having, listen, it's not even a real funeral. It's not going to even be a real funeral. Anybody with sense should know that. She's not going to pay $1,000 or more for a casket. Why would she? Who's going to do that? The only people who's going to do that is somebody that really wants to bury a kid and be able to go to a grave site. These people don't strike me as those kind of people.
No.
They're not going to some grave site.
I feel like it would be for show.
She just don't want to spend her own money. That's the gist of the story.
Yeah, and because, they are really pissed, about these YouTubers making all this money, and they're going to sue unless they get $10,000 between the YouTubers who are out there. That's the biggest joke. They're not giving them any money.
Why are you suing the YouTubers?
That was what was put out last night. The one YouTube creator she likes to go on so much said that they are requesting $10,000.
Hello.
Split between 3. Otherwise, they're going to sue them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Oh, and I'll be a size 10 by the end of the week.
Yep, exactly.
Give me a break.
That's crazy. She's up in arms about the amount of money people has made off this case and things like that.
Well, this is to be expected of people, as I just said. She's a hustler. She's a street person. And this is what she's done most of her life to survive is double juggle. So this is all she knows. So it wouldn't have mattered if a child was dead or alive. This is Billie Joel. This is who she is. And she's using this child's death as a means to come up to allegedly bury him, feed her own pocketbook, her own wants and needs. But in the end, she will pay the piper, whether she gets arrested or not.
Yeah.
When she least expected, she's going to hit rock bottom. Because the one thing about Billie Joel is she's a user, and a user needs comfort at some point in life. And what they usually do is go back to what they know best, which is getting high. So there will probably come a time when she'll go all the way down. Mr. Howard will not want her. She will be dead weight, as I've already said. He will go his separate way, and she will have to go back to doing what she knows best, which is hooking, selling crack, whatever, drugs, and still getting high. She'll live off the land.
Yep. And I truly feel like she has enjoyed being in the limelight of all this YouTube stuff. I try to think about if I was in that situation, I had people outside of the house yelling.
Somebody says that her job don't want her back because of the drama. Well, Billie Joe, you put yourself in this drama. Nobody would have known anything about 535 Bulk Halter. Now, you didn't know those people were going to go on the ground and come down there and raise hell. But nonetheless, had you been gone from the house, they probably wouldn't have even been out there. Because, see, they needed feedback, those protesters. And when you're standing out there gawking at them and going back and forth, that fuels the flames. You understand what I'm saying? If those protesters had never seen anybody coming and going, they probably would have never stayed down there. Didn't see nobody down there. They went down there because they knew they were there. Come on now.
This
Use deduction.
woman with a grandson missing in a landfill hangs a freaking disco ball out to get a freaking reaction. Like, that's the level of people we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
That's so strange to me. That's hard for me to even make sense of. Your grandchild's in the landfill. They told you this. They're looking for them. I get the people in front of your house.
Natasha, why do you say he's a ward of the state? How's Quentin a ward of the state? I don't know about that. How's he a ward of the state?
Would he be considered that since now her rights have been taken from?
I don't know. Well, I haven't heard the chief say he's a ward of the state. So,
I mean, I really questioned if she would get the remains, but if that's truly what's in that box and stuff that she's sending pictures of it.
Yeah, the only way we consider a ward of the state is if none of them had rights of the child. And by law,
it doesn't sound like they would.
And by law, she was the last custodian on the paper. She would have had to go to court, and they took away her rights, Billie Joe Howe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So, see, we don't even know what happened in court. And at that time when they went to court, he was not found yet. He was just deemed dead. So, a judge, I don't think, could rule that nobody had custody of him until they actually was able to find remains. And then a claim could be made, I guess, as far as custody of Quentin Simon. Assumingly.
Yeah, and I don't think the dad's interested.
Natasha, we're not talking about the other children. We're talking about Quentin Simon. He wasn't even found yet. So how could he be a ward of the state if he hadn't even been found? And there's never been any mention. There's never been any mention of him being a ward of the state because his body hadn't even been recovered. And at that point, I don't see how you can be the ward of the state and you're dead. I think you'd only be a ward of the state if you were in the state's care at the time of life. Yes, so investigation is still going on.
Ward of the state now?
Huh?
So, would Zane be considered a ward of the state now?
Well, they are in foster care. Yeah, they're in the state's custody.
Yeah.
Once the state went into the landfill, then yes. I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything about that. So I'm not claiming that.
But it seems like she will be the one to, everything that they're posting is correct. But you never know with these people because they're freaking con artists. But
the only time I've learned about a situation, about a ward of the state situation, is the case of the two little kids that were white and they were adopted by that black couple in South Carolina. Now, her original family wanted custody of the dead kid to bury her. But because they lost custody, they had to fight and argue with the state to get custody to bury the child because she died as a, foster child or whatever, adopted kid or however it worked. But eventually they went on and let them claim the body because the parents were in jail.
And it was sick to hear Billie Joe talk about last night. I'm just thankful he's with his great grandparents. I'm like, you sick bitch. But that's child. I mean, yes, I'm thankful he's found, but I don't even know how she could put a sentence together. I mean, to know that there's 3 children, that have been taken. One is dead, one's in landfill. Your child murdered his child. Like, what are you doing on freaking YouTube?
Because you don't have anything better to do.
What are you doing? And, she truly must have no friends. I mean, honestly, she can't.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nobody to give her good direction, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And she fails to see that these people are putting her on display. Because if, these YouTubers truly cared about her, they wouldn't put her on there in certain vulnerable states. Or they wouldn't do that. If you cared, they were your friend, they wouldn't do that. And, they wouldn't want her to put certain things out there, for the integrity of the investigation or whatever. But, even people in her town, obviously she has no real friends.
April, I won't doubt that. She's watched YouTube and heard some things. We're talking about Billie Joel and YouTube. She's in Summer Wells' case. She's probably watched things and heard things. She's just an opportunist. That's all. She's a hustler. Bottom line. She's a hustler. And that's why she's being the mouthpiece of this case. And frankly, I wouldn't want to be doing all this talking, especially to a YouTuber. If I was to speak to anybody, it would be the news. I wouldn't be speaking to a YouTuber.
No. I mean, as much as I watch YouTube and, all this true crime stuff, if anybody in my family was in certain situations, this is the last place I would send them.
Yeah, because most of YouTube is really just gossip. Because a lot of people don't like to stick. A lot of people don't like to stick to the news. They may read periodically the news article, but they like to use theories and wild theories and gossip to spin the narratives of craziness. And you're entitled to do what you want with your YouTube channel, but sickly, there's people that's gullible and they'll believe that shit you put out there.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I've been guilty of watching, some shit I know that's cringe and whatever. But when it comes to this, and you're talking about a baby, and you're a grown woman, like I said, hanging disco balls, hanging inside, like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Because she's childish. She's tit for tat. She's like a child. You do something to me, I'll do something to you. Okay? That's Billie Joel. That's why she has not grown up. She's still a kid. She's childish. She's ignorant.
Must be, because I just feel like the guilt and the grief would eat me alive that I wouldn't even be able to react to what anybody had to say. Even protesters were standing out in front of my house. I can't even see myself being able to get out of bed. And you had this lady putting fish and cow manure. Like, it's just crazy. But part of me feels like she enjoyed some of that. Go plop yourself out on the front lawn like this is a show.
Yes, April. Well, as I said, she's a hustler. She's an opportunist. She's taking advantage of the fact that this child is deceased, and she's used it to her advantage. You would think she's the one that killed the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter's only talked one time. But that's what I'm saying. She's an orchestrator. She's a head knocker. She wants to be important. She wants to be validated. This is Billie Joel's claim to fame. I want everybody to hear me roar, see what I'm about. I came up. I've been to the bottom, blah, blah, blah. But to me, you're just a bottom feeder. I don't care if she went to Harvard. I don't care if she was a rocket scientist. I don't care if she was a runway model. She's still garbage because she's taking advantage of the situation of a dead kid and 2 other kids are in foster care. And the fact that your daughter has never spoken about what happened, which that girl told us that she was going to revealed to us what happened on that morning in that news interview that they did that day. But that girl has never come back and gave us no other interview of Leilani speaking of what happened that morning. So that was a lie. She said she talked to her, but where is the news clip at? Because I'd like to know where it is.
The little blonde lady that says she spoke with Leilani.
Yeah.
And talked about the event.
Yeah. Well, where is the clip at?
I've never seen it.
That's what I'm saying. So that makes me wonder what was actually said to her behind the camera and what could she actually play and not play. Because she said in that interview, I spoke to her and I will be telling you what she said, blah, blah. I ain't heard nothing.
And the way she sounded when she said that, it was as if it was about to play next.
Exactly. And it never played. So it makes me wonder if anything was actually said during that interview with Leilani.
I can't imagine she would have told her something different than the police. I don't know. I hope that this is like an open trial and we get to see. I want you to know, because they knew that baby was there, and that's for sure. And it drove me crazy to hear everybody say, I don't think he's there.
Well, that's why I told people they didn't have no face, because there's no way this man would have went to the FBI. The FBI went and got 40 agents from around the U.S. At the last week, they go hire this Georgia Natural Resources, and poof, voila, days after they jump on the scene, he's recovered.
Yep. That's a lot of resources to be poured into that landfill for him not to be there. They were very, very confident, and they were very, very.
Well, he told you he said I have evidence,
involved.
but he said I have evidence. He said that day one.
Yep.
So I don't know why people were questioning. Why question?
But I'm very interested to see if it was truly a video or what. Because, where's her car? Last time that they were recording out front of the house, her vehicle still wasn't back. So,
well,
I don't know.
Do you think she'll be arrested, Billie Joe Howe, for gross negligence or any type of child endangerment charges?
I don't think that she will.
Wow, really?
Not that I agree with that, but if like I said, they're con artists, so I don't know what to really believe of what they're posting. Me seeing her post in this little box of the FBI office, I feel like,
See, I don't listen to all that stuff. I don't know why y'all keep feeding into that shit. All the gossip and stuff. Why do you listen to it? I don't understand.
Speaking with her, I just have a feeling that they won't. I don't know. A part of me wonders that if it will, slip under the rug because maybe they didn't do everything they were supposed to do with the CPS stuff, as far as follow-ups, make sure Leilani wasn't in the house and whatever else. I don't know. Because the ball was dropped somewhere, definitely with CPS. Because I don't even understand, if you saying she got custody a week before he was found dead, or a week before he was dead or went missing, and then knowing that we knew she'd been out of town for 3 weeks. I don't even know how that happens. It's just a lot of strange things. But no, a part of me, she's very, very comfortable. Like you said earlier, she is very comfortable. And I just don't see it. I don't know. Which I thought the same thing about Leilani. It amazed me how she was so
maybe so, Jenny.
She looks dead. There's no life in that girl's eyes. Looking at that mud shot, she looks dead.
Sorry, April, what are you talking about? Sue her civil court for what? Yes, don't none of them know her. Talking horse, she needs to pay them back right now. While she's trying to sell everything from her damn house, she and that daughter need to be paying the city, the town back right now, while she's able to forfeit any type of estate. Billie Joe, that's why I told you all to go over to change.org and sign the petition to mandate that she and her daughter pay the money back to the county for $250,000. Go to change.org and sign the petition.
She can sell that Harley. She has another camper that can be sold.
Who's going to be putting money on her books? You all just keep fooling with Billie Joe if you want to. You going down in the flames with her. You have to own your part when you deal with people you know are mischievous and doing stuff they ain't got no business. So a lot of you don't really understand that. You're not doing nothing but marking yourself. There comes a point in life when you know you need to straighten up and try to act right and do right. And aiding people that kill kids and neglect kids, what type of spirit are you carrying around with yourself that you feel like it's okay to enable somebody that killed a kid or took custody of a kid and had no intention of raising a kid.
Right, and then thinking about that recording that she had with Bubba and the things she said to him, it was almost like she was okaying that. Well, you know how you are when you are on drugs. You know how you don't know how you will act. Almost like just because she was on drugs, it was okay. I mean,
thank you, mommy.
It just makes no sense.
I
mean, they're all
Billie Joe. I'm gonna say it.
Jay was a functioning.
She is a hustler. She talks to hear herself. That's what people hustle do. Don't people understand the art of the hustle? I have to have a victim in order to have the hustle work. So if I can get your ear, I got you. So I keep talking and talking and talking until you agree with what I'm saying. You agree to do what I want you to do. It's a hustle. So she found a hustle in that thing from Canada. She's found a hustle by the people that follow the bitch on that channel. You stupid enough to send donations. You'd be stupid enough to send money on commissary. It's all the same. Send money on a wish list. It's all the same. Gullible.
Yeah, I mean, just talking to you tonight and me thinking about her job. She is really playing these people because there's no way she's not still getting paid.
Mr. Ed, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn what Billie Joe do with her stupid ass daughter. She can put all the money she want on that. That's her child. She's aided her all this time. I don't care what she do to her. What she do for her. Matter of fact, what she need to do is crawl her ass in that jail cell with her. That's what she need to be. Because I don't care what nobody says. Hello, Reese. Eventually, this situation with Mr. Howe, he gonna tire of it too if he don't end up going to jail alongside him.
I have a feeling he's already making his departures.
Oh yeah, he's gonna bow out if they don't bring up charges against him too, because he's liable just as well if his name is on those documents as they said. He's liable just as well. So he may try to disappear on his own before the bang comes, if a bang comes down for him too.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, he's gonna tire of this because he's a man. Only a scream queen is going to ride the ride with Billie Joe and all this drama. At some point, a grown man is going to tire of this he said and the she said and the gossip and all this talking to a YouTuber and all this bullshit. He's going to tire of this. He's going to want a life back that he had before Quentin died.
Yeah, I mean, that's too much drama. Majority of men don't want to be in that kind of drama. And, just like yesterday with the child being found, the daughter is arrested. Here you are again on YouTube. Because I trust these YouTubers more than I trust the news. That's literally what she was saying.
Well, you keep trusting that half up there.
It's mind-blowing that she's so ignorant.
Well, see, this is what I've told the chat before. Billie Joe is a hustler. She knows she can't spin a web on the news. They only give you a few minutes to talk. On YouTube, you can go live for hours. So which would you rather have? YouTube, where you could go on and on and on, versus a 2-3 minute clip on the news?
She made it a point to get her story out last night. You could tell that she was determined to say that she wanted everyone to know that she took Leilani there. And that she was highly upset that it was not, announced on the news properly or by the police chief or whoever it was, that they stated they picked her up. I mean, because I question, why were you never even going to take the girl some cigarettes and some clothes? Who cares? Who gives a shit? She killed your grandson. Why would you care? Even before, she said she was checking herself out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I questioned all along for those 30 days. How did you live in the house with her? It makes me feel like that she had to know all along that this had happened, or possibly before. I don't know. I mean, I picture my life, and if I was in that situation, and my child was missing and I had to be in my mother's home, my mother beat the shit out of me if she didn't know where my child was and she thought I was responsible. There's no way I would have made it 30 days in her house. It's sick. There's something not right with these people.
Mm-hmm. But that's the whole point of this story. It's that these are not your average decent human beings. Okay?
No, they're not. They definitely are not. You know, and I really think that
Danny, she belongs in jail. She killed the kid.
You damn right she does.
She deserves to be in there. And her mother, Billie Joe, deserves to be in there. And the father deserves to be in there. And anybody else in that house that has knowledge that the boy was dead deserves to be in jail. And as I said, I'm going to keep saying it. She's a hustler. She knows how to hustle people. This is all she's learned in life. 9 times out of 10, she didn't have a good upbringing from her own mother and father. So she became a street person. And now she's reared 2 murderers. What are the odds of that? A boy and a girl, not 2 boys, not 2 girls, a boy and a girl. So that's why I said, what's wrong with her other children? Because my thing is they still came out the same womb. Same mama, maybe different daddies, but the same mother. So when she says I'm gonna act like one son is better than all the other kids, he's this, how do I know his ass ain't crazy too? Thank you, mommy. I don't know. Because you already got 2 out of what? 4 or 5 kids that's jacked up. This ain't good. Yes, Jennifer. She's used to selling herself in any way needed. Bingo card.
Yep, she knows that she has that to fall back on.
She knows how to choose a victim because all she has to do is run her mouth, cry and moan, put on fake tears. That's why her daughter did it at the news that day. She learned it from Billie Joe. Billie Joe knows how to fake cry, fake tears. Woe is me. Look at me. I had a jacked up life, but I'm better. You're not better. You're sitting here blabbering and blubbering to a YouTuber who doesn't give a fuck about you. That woman's up there in Canada. She's barely living her damn self. And she's sitting here feeding your flames and feeding your pocketbook over a dead kid that you acted like you wanted. And you knew that you didn't. And you've just been using this case to fill your pocketbooks. Who the fuck gets jury off a dead kid? You couldn't even call me talking about, I'll send you some jury. And the person that sent the jury, you're sick. You're sick. You're sick. You don't offer a person jury. But you don't offer a person jury off a dead kid.
There's so many,
Yes, Horace, I got it. Thank you.
They're trash. All I know is they truly, truly are. And I don't care how far she thinks she came in life. She is further than she ever started. She's the lowest of lows at this point. The fact alone that you have 2 children that have murdered someone, and your grandchild would.
Gigi, I don't know. I was wondering if they told her that they found the kid remains. I wouldn't doubt that they would, due to the fact that they're still the last relative. So what?
She said they did, but I don't know how true that is.
Okay, well, let's just go here. If they did tell her, then she notified Leilani. Stay woke.
I believe she did. I truly believe.
Either they notified her or she heard it through the grapevine, and then she started spinning these lies about the rehab and the this and the that, and I went and got her because she wanted 5 minutes of fame. She wanted to be validated.
Yep. If her story is true at all, that she went to the rehab and that she truly took her to the FBI office, any of that, I believe that she truly went to let Leilani know that he had been found.
Yeah, she did. I bet she told her.
They were banking on the fact
she told her.
Wouldn't be found.
She found her wherever she was hiding out, whatever. She went and told her. And then she cooked up this old cockamamie ass story about rehab and all that. Billie Joe is disgusting. She's a vile piece of work, and she's never going to change because this woman is 46 years old. And if you're 46 behaving this way off the death of a kid, there's no help for you. I don't see you changing. I don't see you having a coming to Jesus moment. I really don't.
There's not.
No, it's because you're too old. You're almost 50 years old. And if you use a dead kid as a way to come up, to use, manipulate people, I don't see you changing.
No, because this is the one thing that would have humbled her for sure if there was any chance in that. Even with the mistake that she made of leaving her, there was any chance.
I don't know, Ryan. I don't know if she was out of town or not. My understanding, she was out of town and came back. I don't know. And then the husband came back the next day or so. I'm not really sure. Yes, 46 looking 92. Yes. And somebody says she's posted she wants Ellie to carry Quentin to his final resting place.
Yeah, that's what she says.
Wow, what a joke. See, that lets you know she's an opportunist. She's an opportunist.
Yep.
Just say anything to get attention. That lets you know this is a miserable woman. She's miserable. She's a very miserable. She's just miserable. She's a miserable two-legged creature.
Yep. She will continue to be miserable.
She just feeds.
Sure.
She feeds off of anything. That's when you know you're dealing with a pathological liar. That's where Leilani gets that lying from. Billie Joe's a liar. If ain't nobody put two and two together, Billie Joe's a liar.
Sick. It's crazy. Can you even request something like that?
Yeah, if you don't have any pallbearers, if you decide to have a casket. Yeah. But I don't see the point. I don't see the point in buying a casket for what?
I see it being all for show to make this big to-do, this big elaborate service is what I see her doing.
Yeah.
Because she cares so much.
Yeah. Have an elaborate show for the community.
Yep.
To get views, have people come by bringing envelopes full of money. I wouldn't bring her a dime.
Hell no. I mean, because truth be told, it wouldn't take a lot to bury him by much.
But that's my point, is that what would be the purpose of buying a casket and all of that when naturally he won't be whole? You're going to buy all this money, then you got to pay for a tombstone. You know what a tombstone costs? Tombstones cost. They're not cheap.
Well, yeah, and you got to have the plot, and then you got to.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. All that's going to cost more than a miniature casket.
Yep. I mean, that's like $5,000 just right there. Yeah, but I see her going all out. I will say that I see it being a big elaborate.
But show. I won't doubt that she'll get donations because this is a high profile case. And usually when people are in high profile cases, somebody will donate services for the child, flowers, a casket, all those type of things.
Well, that's, and you heard, and I don't know how true this is, but I've heard people say that a lot of funeral homes will do infant or small children services for free. I don't know if that's
well. The fact that the case is high profile and is well known around the world, people will donate money. Funeral services will donate their time and their services for free. They'll even offer possibly a casket if she wants a casket. They'll ask her what she wants if she still has rights to the kid. I don't know, but the point is, money will be donated for the kid services.
I mean, because honestly, if that picture they posted today is truly him, he's already in a little box.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know if that.
But that's why I'm saying, what would be the purpose of spending a whole lot of money for a casket? It'd be pointless. Why not just cremate the remains and keep it in an urn? And these are the type of people who definitely don't deserve any urn remains. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're vile.
Yeah, and I feel like she would cremate him. I don't know.
Tanya says there's always someone ready to take up for the devil. She will get money for her criminal behavior. Yes, I agree.
Oh yeah, I've already seen people sending money on a few lives. Definitely. I'm sure that she has more than plenty. And like I said, you got the other one requesting that the other YouTubers pay her the $10,000 between the three. That's just whatever. That's not happening. And if she wanted money, obviously she got mixed up with the wrong YouTuber. They're upset that, you know.
Carr says, I think they prepared the narrative and what each person was to say before they reported Quentin missing. Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Gigi, I agree.
I mean, because that's what I was saying earlier. I don't know how you could sit in the house with this girl for more than 30 days knowing that this has happened if you're truly questioning what happened to your grandson. So it makes me feel like she had to know something. Because otherwise, like I said, my mom would be tearing me apart.
Well,
and, I mean, I get that's her child, but still.
I'm not sleeping in there. Because I would be walking around wondering where was the child murdered? And who wants to walk around their house wondering where somebody killed a kid? You understand what I'm saying? What did she do with the clothes? Did she dress the kids? Listen for a minute. Did she kill him with clothes on? Did they take clothes off? What did they store him in? What did they do to him exactly? Was he whole, half, and half? See, you don't even know.
No, those are things I've thought about, all that. Like, you know, did they, you know, reach out to Billie and say, have you noticed any blankets missing? I thought about all that because, I mean, really, but it's no doubt that it happened in that house. I feel strongly about that. And there's no way. I mean, I don't know how I would sleep at night and then not truly knowing where it took place or just anywhere in that house.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because, you know, it was the minute that they did that liminal stuff that day and the next day they were at the landfill, that something came. I truly believe they found something in the house. I don't know what it would be.
Well, that was like day one. They had the stuff up outside.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they have the windows blocked day one?
Because they were spraying luminol. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I could think that they would be doing. You know, and those things were interesting because Billie Joe was home then and she said so much, but she's never, you know, she said she doesn't know, you know, they need to reach out to Danny. She never speaks on certain things like that. Well, we know something was, I know that she probably can't either, but, you know, we know for sure something was found in the house. Would they report that, or would they give them that information if luminol like hit on something and lit up? Would they let them know that?
Why would I let you know that, Brittany?
I mean, I guess not.
You know, I'm not supposed to tell you that. Somebody in the chat has a good point. Is it possible that BJ wore a wire and played along, cooperated to avoid charges? Well, my understanding with the investigation, the first person to holler is the one that gets the plea.
And it was said in the beginning that they were worried that the house was wired, is why they were always outside.
Merja, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correct. They're going to drain the pool because 9 times out of 10, the pool was probably murky, so they couldn't see. So they drained the pool to make sure the child wasn't in the pool.
Yeah, they said it was murky.
Yes, no different than the protester. She may be worse. She is worse. They're all the same to me. They're all bottom feeders. They're all opportunists. The people on the ground were opportunists. Billie Joe's an opportunist. That thing in Canada's an opportunist. They're all the same. That's why it's easy for all of them to talk about each other because they're evenly yoked. They're all the same. Rita says Leilani is going to start talking and Billie Joe will be sitting in jail just like her daughter. I believe Billie Joe had something to do with this baby body disappearing from that house. You know, I've thought about that too, Rita, because there's something off with the fact that the child is killed 1 week after she signs papers with her daughter for custody of the children. Something is very off with that. There's something that I can't put my finger on why Leilani would feel pressure to give her kids up knowing her mother worked out of town. Make it make sense. She can't tell me she was that doped up and high and felt pressured to give up her kids. What would make you feel pressure to give up your kids just because somebody's evicting you? Go get help. Go find an apartment. She could go get subsidized housing or a voucher. All she's going to tell the people, hey, I'm being evicted. Here's my notice. I need to find a place quick. I got 3 kids. This is bullshit. She knows the game.
Well, and that's just it. Even if, one child. Sorry.
I refuse to believe she don't know how to go to a government agency to get help for housing. A mother with children or a man with children gets first dibs on a place to live besides the elderly and somebody homeless versus a single person. So she had everything she needed by having kids and go to an agency and say, hey, I'm being evicted by my mother. Here are the documents. I got to be out by this amount of time. I got to have a place to live. I refuse to believe she couldn't got a housing voucher. Come on now.
But how was it any good getting rid of just one? I mean, she still had, I guess.
Because it's the one I didn't want. It's the one I didn't want, Brittany.
Yeah.
Come on now. You can't kill all the damn kids. I mean, how you going to explain somebody stole 3 kids?
Well, she didn't have a very good story at all. If it was, planned, they didn't work it out very well at all.
Thank you, Tanya. They know how to play the system. Exactly.
Oh, I definitely believe they were playing the system.
Yeah.
Billie Joe, I feel like, helped out with that. For sure.
Why did they not put Danny and Leilani in the other house that Thomas and Billie have? I don't know anything about that.
They say that's where the husband's been staying.
In another house?
Yeah, there's a trailer down the road.
Now, why? Now, listen at that. Now, if you believe that, why would he go stay somewhere else?
Is he dealing with his shit?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, so he don't want to deal with that shit anymore.
Shut up.
I mean, because, with all those cars.
So are y'all listening to, listen to what you all are saying. 2 campers, motorcycles, cars, trucks, a house, another trailer. Stay woke. All right, Diggs. Thanks for joining us. Happy holidays. How do you have all of these properties, campers, trucks? Stay woke.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had a little drug-related business on the side. And when Billie Joe, and this is all just me speaking.
Old habits die hard.
Billie Joe and her husband were out of town working. Leilani and Danny and the other brother would handle all that business. To keep
April says, I think it's drug money. It possibly is. It's something underhanded.
I could definitely see it.
But I wouldn't trust Danny. You can't trust 2 users to run no drugs for you. Come on now. She knows her daughter. She already know it'd be smoked up, so that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work at all. Because these 2 aren't responsible, and I couldn't see them leaving them with no type of dope. Fun to Ski says Thomas is out of there, and I don't think he signed up for this as well. He probably didn't.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No grandmother acts like Billie Joe was acting with a grandbaby missing unless she was covering her ass and scared of Leilani talking. Could be true, Rita. That's what I'm starting to wonder, if Billie Joe has more of a role in this death of Quentin Simon. Because her behavior is very suspect after the fact, and this wanting 5 minutes of fame off of a dead kid is low rent. And the fact that I learned that the IRS were investigating them, and she still won't stay off that fucking YouTube and talking and refuses to talk to the news herself, something is off. Tanya says, BJ found a come up and she claims she worked hard for it. Ha ha. Guess what, people? This gig with YouTube she got right now, she's working you hard too if you follow her or listen to her BS. Exactly. Very true. Yes, YouTube is just another hustle, especially for her, because that's all she knows. She's a street person. She's a hustler. But her claim to fame will die down, just like what happened with the Whales. 1 minute they're on YouTube blabbering and talking, drunk, turned up. Next thing you know, you don't see or hear from them. It'll be the same with Billie Joe. Eventually, it will die down, and nobody will want to hear what she's talking about. Nobody will want to listen, because one day she'll get up there and say something very nasty, and somebody will get offended, and then they'll go run to somebody else's channel, and the first thing they'll say is, "You won't believe what Billie Joe said to me. I thought she was a good person, and I was trying to help her." And you knew damn well she was faux pas. You chased her because you saw yourself in her. That's all. Yes, she's guilty of neglect. Yes. Well, I'm going to check out of here because I'm over 2 hours and I don't want the lives to go that long, so people don't have to sit up and watch long-winded. Like, anything you like to say before I check out of here, ma'am? Brittany? Brittany? You have anything else you want to say before I check out of here? She can't hear me. I don't know what she's doing. I can't hear you, Brittany. Well, I want to thank my guests for coming up. Thank you, Brittany. There comes a point in a person's life when he or she should want to change. Try to do better, be better. But that's entirely up to you how you want to live your life. As I said, we're all flawed. But these types of crimes, there's just no excuse. And you've got some cutthroat people out here in the world, and they wouldn't even kill a kid. Because, there's all types of games people play, hustles, deviant behavior. But everybody knows you don't mess with children, the elderly, and women. As they would say, there's even honor among thieves, perhaps. But not with this one. Billie Joe is a con artist. She has not redeemed herself. She has not changed. Her mind is still in hustle mode, and she'll probably die this way. She'll have 2 children that will die in the state of Georgia penal code system. And they came from her womb, and they are cut from the cloth of Billie Joe Howe, and that's the bottom line. And I won't doubt that there's possibly something wrong with her other children, because she's now 2 in a hole, and that ain't good. And they also would have to be looking at themselves saying, do I have what these other brothers and sisters have? Which is the devil. And working for the devil is pointless because he doesn't pay you anything. You've been working for free. But you can't tell the worker that, because they think they're getting something out of working for the devil. So let them commence. Prayers to the workers that found Quentin Simon. The investigation is still ongoing. They're taking a break this week. We'll resume after the holidays. And we will pray that they get everything they need to go forward with this case and choose 12 members of a jury that will bring the hammer down on Leilani Simon, Billie Joe Howe, Mr. Howe, and any other participant in that house that had knowledge that the child was dead. October 4th, October 5th. This woman has no real friends, no real family. Don't you find it strange you don't see anybody stepping up to talk on behalf of Billie Joe Howe and this family? Not one good friend, except for this one lady who I don't know who the hell she is. And she's got to be crazy as the dickens to even be speaking on behalf of these people. But nonetheless, where is the family of Billie Joe Howe? Where are her brothers and sisters, cousins, co-workers? Don't you find that strange? You have not heard one solid interview from a co-worker of Billie Joe Howe or Mr. Howe. You have not heard one neighbor come forward to speak on behalf of this family that they were good people, great people. I tell you, stay woke. See all that garbage you've been listening to? That's not where the truth lies. The truth lies in the neighbors, the family members, the co-workers. What do they have to say about these people? And so far, only one friend. Not even a friend of Leilani's has come forward to say very much about her. No co-workers. What about her boss? Some of you said she worked at a liquor store. Where's that boss at to say, yeah, she's a good worker, nice kid, blah, blah, blah? Nothing. Is Danny Youngkin guilty of conspiring to kill a child? Did he aid in killing the child? Did he kill the child? Some of you asked that. Some of you think that. I don't know. But I refuse to believe he knows nothing. Because she would have been very angry 1 week before the death of Quentin Simon, and he would have been right there riding on her coattail, listening to everything she had to say. No way he would not know she's going to kill her kid. Because they both are thick as thieves. He would have had knowledge. He would have had knowledge. But you've got to prove he didn't have knowledge and or participate in the death of Quentin Simon. Same with Billie Joe Howe and Mr. Howe and the brother Paul. Justice for Quentin Simon. Happy holidays to everybody in the viewing audience. Please be safe. Be aware of your surroundings. When you're shopping, do not leave any parcels on the seat of your car. Please put everything in your trunk. Do not go out late by yourself. Get somebody to go with you. Do not post to social media. Do not leave boxes outside at the dumpster or the garbage can. Ask to let people know what you purchased. Have your keys already in your hand before leaving the store. Do not fumble for keys at your car, truck, and beware of people in the stores bumping you. If you wear a crossover bag, put it underneath a long jacket or duster, as so the thief cannot go in your pockets. Your satchel. Be aware of your surroundings. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Mind the children. Thank you all for joining the Queen. Thank you for the stickers and chats during this live stream. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. The description is in all of my videos. Thank you all so much for following the content. Thank you for all my 1,000 plus new subscribers. God bless all of you. Thank you so very much. Please be safe out there. Know that you can make one phone call and save the life of a child. If you do not want to call DHS, then call the police department. Know that you did something so you can sleep at night. This story is not quite over, but the worst part is, and my best advice to many of you following the Quentin Simon story is not to believe the fluff and the gossip, because these people are ill that had custody of the child and were in the periphery of the children before death and removal from the state. And bet you don't indulge in foolishness, because that's the reason why the children are gone and one is deceased, because nobody cared. And I've always told you that how you're treated in death is how you were treated in life. And there's been utter disrespect for Quentin Simon. So there was utter disrespect when he was living. That's why he is not here. Thank you all so much for joining me. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Please be safe. This is Everyday Shenanigans.